Lancastria, the last city, founded atop the grounds of where Lantris once stood. Lancastria was erected when the race of man was favored by the other races and lended their aid in the city's construction. Formerly the home of who would come to be King Nazarin of Lantris, Lantris was once no more than a mere hamlet of 12 to 15 houses. However, over time it was ascended to what it is now, the shining standard of mankind, the last remaining city. When Merinthia and Kyrinx fell, Lancastria was in shambles for nearly a century, until nomadic groups of village folk came to the ghost city and began to repopulate it. More than 100 years after, however, circa 119 after war, Lancastria fell to anarchy and complete unruliness, with a lack of any real authoritative figure. Until the coronation of Queen Valeriana in the year 632 after war, Lancastria fell to the hands of the biggest Reaver Lord. Blood was spilled for the throne of the ancient city, yet none stood with the crown for more than a couple of years. After Queen Valeriana's crowning, however, order was quickly re-established. She stepped up and managed to unite the people of Lancastria under one banner when she reigned up until the year 670 after war, passing away at the age of 95 due to old age. She handed the throne to her oldest son, Carthus II. During the time of Queen Valeriana, the title of court wizard had been bestowed onto a man named Bariathor Broomglass. He was quickly stripped of his role after he was proven ineffective by the people of Lancastria soon after Queen Valeriana's passing, with the current court wizard, Venteris, taking his mantle after him and joining alongside Axamuth and Valus in their roles within the royal court. With the sewers overrun and taken up by thieves and runaways due to the city's former nature, and districts becoming overrun by black market thugs, Lancastria was eventually split into 3 separate districts after countless skirmishes to reclaim the city over the past 30 years at the very least. The Hierarchy district is the home of old nobles situated within Lancastria's walls, and where visiting people of importance are usually stationed and otherwise handled. The Magna Arcana Museum, filled with ancient artifacts for the world to see, is also part of this district. Furthermore, the Ivory Market, where one can peer upon the most exquisite crafts made by the blacksmiths and tailors of the land, where their flawless expertise can truly shine and be appreciated. The headquarters of the Ironclad Pact are located in the Hierarchy district, though there is also an Ironclad Pact Inn in the Moon and Sun district. The Moon and Sun district is also known as the middle ground of Lancastria, or the neutral zone between the Ratway district and Hierarchy district, seeing as it is mostly split into lower-class citizens and struggling townsfolk who cannot afford to live luxuriously within the Hierarchy district. It is commonly used to traffic illegal goods from the Ratway district in the lower warrens, or often becomes grounds for brawls to transpire. The Moon and Sun district is mostly filled with inns, taverns, and things of the sort. Guards are commonly posted here and usually see more action than within the Hierarchy district. The Ratway district is a section of Lancastria that has more networks reaching underground rather than above, ruled by criminal organizations and other small bandit groups. Whoever has the sharpest sword wears the crown of vermin. Guards are rarely stationed near the Ratway, and act more like man-catchers for fleeting cutthroats that may be possibly taken into custody. The Ratway district is a permanent slum, with people commonly being extorted, assaulted, robbed, and in some instances even worse. Past attempts have been made to reclaim the Ratway, but they have all been halted as to reduce civilian casualties. King Carthus Avaric II is the ruler of the human race, housed in the Hierarchy district of Lancastria. As the eldest son of Queen Valeriana, it was only natural that he claimed the throne. Despite his origins tying him to among one of the most beloved monarchs present in human history, Carthus II has yet to show any proper signs of kingship or rulership in terms of collaborating and rallying his own people, often dismissing many claims or complaints. Despite attempts made by court wizard Venteris and Duke Axamuth of the Icterian and Varanthian people, due to the rules of their agreements, their influence has proven limited. Carthus II has spawned many a flaring anger in their hearts and minds when his name is uttered. Although tempers are high and the people are somewhat in a schism between overthrowing the young ruler or perhaps letting him bide his time until truly proven either worthy or unworthy of the crown, no major outbursts have occurred. Court Wizard Venteris, the swamp-born sorcerer. Venturus is a Nectarian man forever sworn to King Thorin's side. He was entrusted as a source of wise counsel to the newly crowned young King Carthus II during the first days of his reign, shortly after the former court wizard Beriathur Broomglass was stripped of his role. The Icterian sorcerer was sent as a gesture of goodwill from the Icterian king, and serves as an advisor and master of all things arcane within the walls of the great city. He is among the most outgoing member of the nobility from Lancastria, casually visiting the Moon and Sun in the Hierarchy district on occasion. Duke Axamoth of the Red Claw tribe, otherwise known as the Coin Flipper or Master of Trades, is the Varanthian responsible for any and all trades concerning the Lancastrian Horde's economy and such. He was formerly dubbed in title as part of the hierarchy when Archon Turvaran Nathrul took pity on the remnants of mankind and offered them the aid of the Varanthian people in the form of Duke Axamoth. A person of the people, working for the people, sent by the people. He can mostly be seen around the hierarchy district's luxurious marketplaces, but he does not shy away from the Moon and Sun district. Valus, the Grand General, Commander and Flag-bearer, is the leader of the Lancastrian forces, also known for his participation in multitudes of crime investigating jobs concerning the Ratway district. A man of many tall tales and supposed myth-like achievements with experience tied together with ego right by his side. He is a remarkable strategist, but also full of himself to the point of refusing to elaborate most of the time when asked about his planning. Commonly called a mere warmonger by many people, Valus has rarely worked to better shape his image in the eyes of the people, serving only his need for proving himself capable of war and battle. Although technically adequate, he is not adored by many. As for the former Lancastrian hierarchy, Lancastria was ruled by many kings and queens both before and after the events which shaped many images, standards, superstitions, and even the row of time as we know it now. All beginning with Nazaran of Lantris, the first king who reigned from 913 before war to 870 before war. His estimated birth is said to be around 935 before war, with the details lost to time itself due to the nature of King Nazaren's life and untimely demise at the hands of treachery. During the foundational times of mankind, Nazaran was nothing more than a lone hunter and farmer boy hailing from a village by the name of Lantris. After eventually ascending above and beyond and raising the little village into the city that would come to be known as Lancastria, Nazaran was ultimately stolen into the hellish realm of the Molten Sea on the 17th of Silent Reign, 870 before war. His immediate successors ruled unperturbed for the duration of their careers and lives, up until the birth of King Carthus I. King Carthus I of Lancastria was born during 81 before war and reigned between the years of 63 before war and 3 after war. He was dethroned and rid of his kingship after his death during the year 3 after war. Most notably known for his infamous association with Kings Asalin of Moralhold and his involvement in the attempted genocides of the Varanthian and Icterian people, King Carthus may only have been present for a smidge of the centuries-long racial war between the Elves and the Icterians and Varanthians, but he and his armies served to exacerbate the results tenfold by turning those roughly 60 years of his involvement in the war itself into some of the bloodiest known to mankind. He faced one of history's most rage-filled dirges and send-off at the age of 84, after his presumed death during the mysterious cataclysmic event which overtook Marinthia and Kyrinx. Although no official body was recovered, the king never returned. His only son, Danahel, took his throne when he came of age. Danahel Carthus Eremer of Lancastria, who reigned from 5 after war to 78 after war. He was formerly known as Prince Danahel, the only son of Carthus I, born in 13 before war. Coming into kingship at the age of 18, Danahel was anything but prepared for all the duties that befell him after the death of his father. To everyone's surprise, however, the young prince quickly adapted and overcame many of his struggles, managing to unite the people of Lancastria and offer his extended support to smaller villages encompassing the city, forming the town of Twin River Vale. He was also the first formally acknowledged man who accepted his wife's last name as his own, rejecting the societal pressure and setting an unprecedented example for generations to come. King Danahel and Queen Navia gave birth to Princess Hestia, who took the crown and became warrior queen of Lancastria after Danahel and Navia's deaths at the hands of an infamous orc warlord by the name of Kroch the Stonebreaker during a visit to Twin River Vale at the age of 91. Hestia Navia Eremer of Lancastria, who reigned from 80 after war to 103 after war. As Danahel and Navia's only daughter, Princess Hestia the half-elf, born in 23 after war, served as a source of great inspiration regarding companionship and friendship among the human and elven populace. After the untimely deaths of her parents at the hands of Kroch the Stonebreaker, Hestia took up martial training. Initially rejecting the role of queen for the first 2 years after the deaths of her parents, Hestia focused her entire mind to perfecting the art of the blade and accepted the crown in 80 after war, second of Icefall. During her time as queen, Hestia fought back the encroaching forces of Rhinebloods which continuously swarmed the lands surrounding Twin River Vale and other unnamed villages surrounding both the Twin Rivers and the ruins of the cities of Marinthia and Kyrings, actively stepping down from the throne to handle the fights herself as both commander and warden. Eventually, during the year 103 after war, which came to be known as the Year of Shorn Tusks, Hestia was ambushed during her return to Lancastria by Kroch and his Rhinebloods. In the ensuing fight, both Kroch and Hestia were grievously wounded, but both sides' forces had been ravaged. With what little allies remained in Hestia's squadron, she had a choice. She could either return to Lancastria and allow for the Rhinebloods to heal and lick their wounds, or end their escapades of bloodshed and now. Hestia ultimately decided to chase Kroch to his lair. At the bottom of the mountainous slopes of the Rakkari Cordillera, inside a fortress constructed out of pillaged metals and stolen goods, she, alongside a team of merely 5 warriors, fought tooth and nail against the hundreds of Rhinebloods until the only ones left standing were Hestia and Kroch. Hestia felled the orc warlord, but not without suffering grievous injuries of her own. As her last act of defiance, she raised the Lancastrian banner atop the corpses of the Rhinebloods and used the warlord's corpse as the flag's roost. Hestia's last charge in burial ground eventually came to be known as Toothbreaker Gully, fabled to have perished with a bloodied smile on her face. Victory was hers. Although she was mostly known as the warrior queen of Lancastria, Hestia was also a gracious mother of 5 and a loving wife to a human man by the name of Ermion Vadem, who fought alongside her and perished with her at Toothbreaker Gully on the 24th of Stellar Wind, 103 after war. Her eldest son snatched the crown after her death at the age of 21. Haran Ermion Neramar of Lancastria, who reigned from 103 after war to 119 after war. As the eldest son of Queen Hestia and King Ermion, he snatched the crown after the heroic deaths of both his parents by right of blood, infamously known for undoing the gracious work done by the hands of Danahel and everyone who came after, all the way to his mother's own reign. Haran and the rest of his 4 siblings were discovered to have been conspirators siding with demonic cultists of multiple natures, before ultimately being assassinated by the Daggersworn. Details regarding King Haran and his involvements with the demonic cults of Hakkad have been purposefully withheld and promptly banned from reaching into the hands of civilians, fearing that such information was so dangerous that simply knowing of the events would bring about the worst in people and inspire discourse. Chaos reigns. Anarchy, 119 after war to 632 after war. Eventually, after Haran's assassination at the hands of the Daggersworn, Lancastria was ruled by reaver lords and warlords who seized thrones made of bone by painting them in blood. Multitudes upon multitudes of warrior bands, mercenary companies, and occultists attempted to seize the throne, but never lasted too long before another bigger fish came and swept them out of the picture. During all this discord, libraries were burnt, archives were ruined, and entire sections of the city were destroyed. Ruin ravaged Lancastria and all surrounding lands. Valeriana Avaric of the Twin Rivers, who reigned from 632 after war to 670 after war. Lancastria's anarchy was eventually ceased when a woman by the name of Valeriana, hailing from the liberated Twin River Vale, united the scattered men and women of what used to be Lancastria and all surrounding villages, and took up arms against the worms acting as their overlords within the walls of former kings and queens. Uniting the people under one banner, she drove back and executed the oppressive outlaws reigning over their lands and was crowned queen by the newly found people of Lancastria, reforming a proper council and beginning repairs on the ancient city, in an attempt to bring it back to its glory. Her quest, however, was not fully accomplished, as criminals still ravaged the Ratway of Lancastria, but such efforts would extend until well beyond her death in 670 after war, into the current day. Her eldest son, Carthus II of Lancastria, took up the throne after her death at the age of 95. During her time as queen, the title of court wizard had been bestowed onto the man named Arthur Broomglass. He was quickly stripped of his role after he was proven ineffective by the people of Lancastria soon after her passing, with Vantaris of the Ecterians taking the mantle of court wizard after him and joining alongside Axamuth and Valis.